When the mind is clear, the Buddha nature is just like the sun will shine the light to everything. All of those covering the sunlight, like clouds, will not be there. So the rays of the sun will reach everywhere. We are not seeking for the freedoms anywhere else, but it's in our mind. It's already there already. It's just like because of the cloud is covering the ray of the sun, like the thinking, the ignorance covering the ray of our Buddha nature. So when we strip up all these clouds, all these thinkings, all the ignorance, the sun rays will automatically shining everywhere. So when we do in the practice, as the Buddha and the Patriarch have shown us, we will be able to see our own Buddha nature. It's just like another example in Vinyasa Sutra. There's already gold in the ore. It's just because there's a lot of others contaminations of dirt, other metals. So in order to purify the gold, you have to get rid of all those others contaminations. So if there's no gold in the ore, when you purify that ore, you won't be able to see the gold. It's the same. Our Buddha nature is already there in our mind. You just need to purify all those contamination from the ignorance, from the thinking, in order to have your Buddha nature appears. So you must know where can you find your gold, what ore having the gold, and you just need to purify the ore, all the contaminations in order to get the gold. So you need to believe in all your own Buddha nature is already there in your mind. You need to do the practice in order to purify all those, get rid of all those contaminations in order to see your Buddha nature. So when we say, when your mind is clear, the sun will be appear, all rays will reach everywhere. So when we do the practice, asking the questions and raising doubt, it's just like we blow away those dark cloud, and then the sun will be appearing right in front of you, just like it's already there. It's just being covered by all of those clouds, all those thinkings, the ignorance. That's why you don't see your own Buddha nature. Just like in Lotus Sutra or Dharma is already there. Everything in this world is already there. It's just because of the ignorance, the attachment, that we don't realize this. We don't realize that everything's already there. So another sutra said that all the Dharma is the creations of your own mind, and all the Dharma is already the Nirvana. Just because of the ignorance, just because of the cloud, we don't realize that the sun rays is already there. So, like in the Nirvana Sutra, Fulona asked a question: why all the saints also have the elusive creation of the mind, but they don't be crazy on these things. But normal people, human beings, they also have all these elusive creations of the mind, but they are suffering from these. So the Buddha said, why you have why you said that the saints having the elusive creation of the mind. So Fulona said that the saints seeing the house and say the house, animals say the animals, like human beings, but they don't have any suffering from them. But why human beings, they also say the house is a house, the sun is a sun, animals, but they are suffered from these. So the Buddha said that for the saints, they, even though they have all of these elusive creation of the mind, but they don't attach themselves to these elusive attachment of the mind, elusive illusions of the mind, elusive creation of the mind. Human beings, they always attach themselves to these elusive creation of their own mind. That's why they have these suffering. Your Buddha nature is always there, but you don't realize that because all of these thinkings, illusions, creation of all mind, or the ignorance that's covering all those rays of the sun. So, in order to see the sun, your own mind, your own Buddha nature, you must do the practice to blow away all these clouds that cover your own Buddha nature, your own sun. So that's why the Buddha and the Patriarch showing us the way to catch our Buddha nature, to realize our own Buddha nature, go into this circle of birth and death, go in this samsara anymore. We don't attach ourselves to your own elusive creation, our own mind anymore. If you have any questions, I want to share your own experience, go ahead and speak up. There's a questions on Zoom. Could you please give us some words of explanations when you ask questions? How can we ask the questions correctly? Sometimes I ask the questions, but I have no doubts. Could you help me on this? Our habits, our ignorance, and our differentiations have been there for many lives. And it's been there, and it's hard to get rid of. It's just like a mountains, a metal wall. It's hard to destroy your habits, your ignorance. It's just because of you want to ask for something, you want to achieve something, you fear of something, and these becomes the interference with your practice. All of these are just a creation of your own mind. So these elusive creation of your own mind always there to lure you away from the practice. The words from the Buddha or the Patriarchs always there to remind us to go back to the practice. But sometimes we don't have a belief, we don't have a good vow to do the practice, and we don't believe in the right Dharma, and we don't do the practice. We only believe in this normal daily living. We only believe in the creations of our own mind, but we don't realize that we had our Buddha nature already there, waiting for us to discover. That's why the Buddha and the Patriarchs always remind us to apply what you learn into your practice. It's not that the stillness that you try to seek for, it's not the knowledge that you want to seek for. is not the freedoms that you are seeking for, but the realize of the Buddha natures is already there. There's nothing for you to attach to. The knowledge is not. The knowing is not. Even your own mind is not. When we said about the meditations, you must believe in your own Buddha nature in order to start the practice. Just ask the question clearly. Even it's just like when you asking the questions and have no doubts, just like you chanting the questions without a doubt, just keep on going. The not knowing is a doubt. It's already there, but you don't realize that. When you don't have the answer that the not knowing is the doubt already, but you do not realize it. When we do in the practice, we feel like we achieve something. Sometimes we realize that we have a mistake. Sometimes we realize that we achieve something. All these are just the creations of your own mind. Don't attach yourself to them. Just go back to ask questions and raising doubts. All these are just the explanations. All these are just words that you listen to. They have only one purpose, to tell you to go back to your practice. They have nothing for you to attach to. When you understand these explanations, you go back to your own practice and use your doubt to sweep up all those that you just understand. Just like when you read the sutra, at first you don't understand anything, but after you practicing, you read the sutra again and you might have some understanding of what is the meaning. And then you practice more and you realize that you have a new understanding about the sutra. So, when you understand something, it doesn't mean that the sutra has a new meaning. It's just because of the practice that you had helping you to realize your own creations of the mind and the applications of your own Buddha nature. When you attach yourself to these understanding, when you attach yourself to these elusive creation of your own mind, which means you still attaching yourself to something, and these attachments becomes the challenge, becomes the interference for your own practice. The practice slowly and diligently will help you realize that elusive creation of the mind is all and your doubt will automatically strip up these for you. You do in the practice and you don't asking for anything, you don't ask for anything, you achieve anything, don't attach to those. Just remember that there's nothing to ask for, nothing to achieve, and nothing to fear of when you're doing your practice. Just go back to asking the questions and raising doubts. Anything going on in your mind, any elusive creations of your mind, any ignorance that you realize, just let them be. Use them as a reminder to go back to your practice. Don't be tricked by them. When we said that we focus on our Buddha nature, but when you said that you focus on something, you have something to focus on, which means you still have something that you want to achieve. There's nothing for you to achieve, nothing for you to focus on. Everything is already there for you. When you listen to the Buddha's words, sometimes you said that you believe completely on the Buddha words and the patriarch words, but because of the habits that we had for several lives already, we didn't do the practice correctly or diligently. There's nothing for us to renounce. Even though the elusive creation of mind is always there, there's nothing for us to destroy. There's nothing for us to attach to when you're doing your practice. Asking questions and raising doubts. It's just like the more you practice, the more you will realize the strength of your practice will doing the job for you automatically. When you, just like Guisen teaching, it said that when you get used to your practice will pull you toward your Buddha nature. And if you don't practice, then you will stay away from your practice and you won't be able to realize that you have already the Buddha nature there. It's just like when you have a debt, you have to pay your debt slowly and eventually you will pay off your debt. You are having all these ignorance, all the attachments for so long. The practice will help us to detach ourselves from all the ignorance, all the thinking automatically. And eventually you will see your own Buddha nature. And only the practice will be the way for you to repay our teachers, our Buddha, our patriarchs, our master who taught this method to us. Just like a student who love to study, and he's always want to study all the time, and he will reach his goal sometimes in the future. Is that understandable? Yes. Thank you for your words. Miss Kim In, go ahead. Could you give me some words about the poem from Bằng Long Uẩn? I don't remember the whole poems, but when Bằng Long Uẩn and his wife and his 2 kids, I forgot, but I think that you knew about this. Could you remind me on this? So the story is there's one day a father, Bằng Long Uẩn, said that it's difficult. The sesame oil, it's difficult like the sesame oils being put on the top of the trees, and the mothers Bằng Long Uẩn said that it's easy. The meanings of the patriarch's words is on the top of all the crafts. And the daughter said that it's not difficult, it's not easy. When you're hungry, you eat. When you're tired, you take a nap. So those are just the koan. And sometimes people try to explain the Quran. The Quran is only for you to get the doubts. It's not for you to explain. Some people try to explain the Quran. They try to make sense of the Quran, and that is still a attachment to the meanings of the Quran. It's still a attachment that you had for the 4 sentences that created by your own mind. We don't try to explain the Quran. We use the Quran to create the doubts, and the doubts will help us to practice, to clear up the mind automatically for us. We have to leave or detach ourselves from all those meanings that we had during the practice. We use the story of the Quran to have the doubt and use that to practice only. Don't run after the meanings.